Hello everyone, welcome to the Beauty Secret, how to turn back the clock for youthful and healthy skin. Today I have invited a special guest for you. She is going to share with you the secret of anti-aging, why we age, and the truth of how to prevent aging process. Now, are you excited? Let's go. So now we'll turn it to her and let her introduce herself and tell us what she does. Welcome to the show, Dr. Sandy.
Thank you so very much for having me. It's kind of fun. I love doing this. So I am, as she said, Dr. Sandy, also formerly known as Dr. Sandra Kaufmann.
Okay.
I am a pediatric anesthesiologist by day, and I'm a longevity expert after hours and in my spare time because none of us want to age. So this is where my absolute heartfelt work and sort of life experience is poured into not only helping me not age, but everybody else.
Great. So since you are keen in anti-aging, I would love to ask you a few of the questions. These are questions many of my clients have been asking me all the time. It is, Christina, why we age, and how can we prevent from aging process?
That is the most bazillion-dollar question, right, that there ever was. And I will tell you that people have been arguing about that since the dawn of time. You know, thousands and thousands of years, people have been trying to figure this out. And I think that we're there. I think we figured this out, which is fantastic since we are all living right now. I was a cell biologist before I went to med school. So my take on aging is from a cellular perspective. And I think you age because all of your cells age. And cells age in very specific ways. And the good news is because we know about them, we can sort of head them off and theoretically then decelerate this aging process that we can't stand. And I know that you and your people are big into skin aging, but I will tell you that your skin is just representative of the rest of your body. So you may have the best skin ever from Botox and all the other fillers that I consider spackle. But if your insides aren't doing so well, your outsides aren't going to do so well either. So in terms of why your cells age, this is where people sort of get kind of bored, but I'll breeze through it kind of quickly. In your cells, your DNA ages, your telomeres get shorter, and there's something called epigenetic modification, which has to do with your diet and your environment, and it changes the way your DNA gets expressed. And the good news is we can alter both of those things. The second tenet of aging in my world is called, it's basically energy production, which is your mitochondria. And your mitochondria, which creates all the energy for your cells, fails over time. And it does it for many reasons.
For the car.
Right? That's exactly right. Exactly right. And in my book, I talk about something called the factory model. So people that aren't big on their biology can follow along because everyone knows how to run a factory, right? So in my factory model, this is the energy source, just like the car, right? You need energy to do everything. And your mitochondria fail for very specific reasons. The rate limiting step, for example, as you get older is a shortage of nicotinamide. We know this, and the good news is you can take it. You can take it orally, and you can also put it on your skin topically, which, I know a lot of people do. It's also free radicals are a problem in your mitochondria. We use oxygen, it creates free radicals, and unless you scavenge them all, you get a lot of DNA damage, and that leads to a lot of skin damage. The third process I call pathways. In the factory model, it would be all sorts of pathways, feedback models, ordering supplies, all that kind of stuff. We have actually aging pathways and non-aging pathways, biochemical pathways in our bodies. And we know that we can turn them on and off chemically. And we can manipulate all of those things, which is just unbelievable. The fourth reason that your cells fail is what I call quality control, right? If you're in your factory, you have to check the widgets. Someone has to make sure everything's going well. So we actually have DNA repair mechanisms that can fail over time. And we have protein repair mechanisms that can fail over time. And we also have something called autophagy, which is sort of the cell's version of recycling. And all of these things we can play with. We can make them go up, we can make them go down. So that's kind of cool. The fifth tenet is basically inflammation. Over the course of time, your immune system fails and inflammation goes up. And the inflammation causes people just to have issues everywhere. It's why you get sort of more autoimmune diseases as you get older. It's why you have more arthritis. It's causes neural inflammation, all sorts of horrible things. But again, if you know about it, you can fix it. The sixth category I call individual cell needs, because you can, in this category, we have senescent cells, we've got stem cells, all these different types of stems or cells that need different types of catering to, and we know we have to address them individually. And then lastly, my category that I think is just sort of like one of the most important, I call waste management, right? So if you have a factory, you have to take out the trash. In my cell world, this is mostly, not completely, but mostly glucose metabolism. And everyone knows that you do better with less glucose. And one of the reasons that that is true is that glucose bonds to your proteins, your lipids, and your DNA, creates things called AGE products, age products, which is my favorite acronym. But these things actually stick to your collagen and rip it to pieces over time. And this is one of the biggest reasons that your skin droops over the course of time. So anyway, so those are the big 7 reasons why your cells age. And the good news is that we can take a huge dent out of each and every one of them and seriously decelerate this process.
Great. That's wonderful. That you are right. Everything the aging process starts with the cellular level, and with all the environment we around us and the food we eat. That exactly like what you put inside is how you come out on your skin and your health. Exactly like that. So this is the next question. Since you're talking about the Botox and laser, everything is on the surface, right? So I have asked this question. I've been asked this question too. They asked me, Christina, do you think like laser or Botox, it really can turn back the clock to make me look 5 or 10 years younger?
So the answer is yes and no, right? Because I'm addicted to lasers. I'm absolutely guilty in that I have lasered my face probably, I don't know, a million times. I do it every 2 months for the last 18 years. And in between, I probably look like I've got disease and leprosy, and people make fun of me. And then when all these, the blemishes go away, they think, oh my God, your skin's amazing. So I absolutely believe in lasers. And of course I Botox like everybody else, and I PRP like everybody else. But in reality, we're just kidding ourselves, because I call it spackle, right? Your face isn't necessarily not aging. It's representing what you think people want to see and what you want to see in the mirror. But that's not longevity. That's just making yourself feel better when you're looking in the mirror. So it's 2 separate things that you really have to sort of take into consideration.
So that would be which two things that you need to take the forward to move forward step.
Right. So I think that people need to think about beauty and aging on the inside and the outside, right?
Yes.
So my program is generally aimed at what you can take on the inside to fix the cells. And if you're specifically talking about skin, it's basically has to do with how much nutrient and specific molecular agents can you get to your dermis to make your fibroblasts and all of the other cells as healthy as possible, right? That's what gets there systemically. To get things to your epidermis is harder, obviously. So that treatment tends to be more topical. So depending on how old you are and how tough your skin is, you kind of need a combination of both.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's totally true. Because some people they don't know they just think like laser or Botox just can help them look good, and they don't want to do anything. Maybe like they just want eat all the junk food, stress all the time, and how can make them younger with even though Botox or laser, you don't combine with everything. You're not going to just make, just like you said, just make you look good at that moment, and you don't take care of your inside. Everything will go back the same way,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. 100%. Yeah. So, it's a matter of embracing the idea that your inside and your outside are contiguous, and people want to pretend that their organs and everything else is working perfectly all the time, but we know that it's not.
It's not. Yeah.
Right? We know, for example, that as your skin is drooping and wrinkling on the outside, your organs and your blood vessels and your heart are sort of withering on the inside. And, you can look fantastic in your coffin by doing all the stuff on the outside, but you're still in a coffin and you're still dead. So, I like to push the idea that you need to take care of your whole body in innumerable ways, not just cosmetically.
Yeah. Exactly. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for saying that. That's good. And then the next question I got asked all the time, why some of my area of my face darker or lighter than other?
So as you age, the cells in your skin respond differently to different stimulus. When you are young, your fibroblasts are churning out hyaluronic acid and collagen, and your melanocytes are staying where they're supposed to stay, and everything is functioning very beautifully. Cells dysfunction over time, right? So your collagen actually supposed to turn over every 17 years, right? But as soon as you have sun damage and DNA damage, what happens is when you're in the sun, as an example, the sun causes inflammation, and the inflammation produces these enzymes called MMPs, and they selectively dissolve your collagen and your hyaluronic acid, which leads to skin, melting. Basically, which is why people get facelifts. When you are younger, your body is able to produce the collagen to sort of make up the difference. As you get older, you can't do that anymore, right? So you're going to have worse skin on the side of the car that you drive on. So we all drive on the, the left side here in the US. So your left side is going to look way crappier than your right side, right? The other things that the sun does is it causes discoloration from the inflammation. It reacts with the melanocytes, and it causes all sorts of trouble. So you're going to get spotty, and you're going to get droopy, and some cells that produce some color are going to stop producing color. So, ladies or gentlemen that have, way more skin color than I do, it starts to fade over time or look spotty. And then we wimpy white people that have no color whatsoever, we become spotted. And it just all has to do with cellular dysfunction.
Yeah, that's very important to have a sunscreen, to apply sunscreen, even though it's a cloudy day or a raining day. You don't know that all those free radical damage touch your skin, and they create all this inflammation. Right?
Oh, without a doubt. And I think in the 70s, it was really cool to have a suntan. So we all sat there, getting our skin burned. But we all know now that it was terrible for us, right?
Yeah.
The other thing that's kind of cool, and I love this, is that what sun does in terms of damage, for the most part, is it hits your DNA, and it causes your DNA to sort of clump up. And that causes all sort of a cascade of problems. So you can actually take over-the-counter supplements that block sun damage.
Which supplement, Dr. Sandy?
So my favorite one is called Astaxanthin. And
where can they get it?
You could pretty much get it anywhere. It's Astaxanthin. It's completely natural, and I'm not holistic in any way, but it does sound kind of cool that it's natural. It comes from an algae. They generally produce it either in Hawaii or Iceland or one of those places. And it's a single cellular organism, and when the organism gets physiologically stressed, it creates this orangish pinkish goo. And that goo protects that particular cell from the damages of the environment. And what's cool is when we take it, it protects us from the damaging environment. So I can tell you for a fact, I know a lot of tennis players, especially my daughter. And my daughter is pale as can be with bright red hair. She's outside all the time. She's actually my astaxanthin tester. So when she takes the appropriate amount in a good company, she doesn't burn at all. And when she forgets or when she takes something that's not so good, then she gets a sunburn. So stuff works. It's absolutely amazing. And now her tennis instructor is taking it because he's like, holy cow, is that possible? And the answer is, it absolutely is possible.
So is anybody can take it, or any consultation that anybody can take it with any health issue, or they need
Anybody.
to take it? Whoa, wow.
Nope. Anybody can take it. It has zero side effects, zero. And in fact, what's interesting about it is because it's made by this algae, it has gotten into the marine life cycle. So anything pinkish or reddish in the ocean is usually from astaxanthin. So salmon is red from astaxanthin. Quail eyes is astaxanthin. Roseate spoonbills, there's feathers, have astaxanthin in it. So even if you went to, the fish market and bought incredibly pink salmon, you'd be eating a ton of astaxanthin. So it's completely safe, completely benign, and it can only help you. I've actually convinced that we should put it in the drinking water.
Wow. So how often, how many pills that we need to take a day with your recommendation?
So astaxanthin is just one.
Just one?
Just one for that.
Just one?
I mean, granted, for sun damage, just one.
Wow. Incredible. Thank you for sharing. I thought it's something like you need to some kind of supplement you need to take every day, but just one time only.
So there's longevity, and so people can choose to take one thing or 30, 40 things. But in terms of just protecting your skin from the sun, that would probably be the most reasonable thing to take if you're just going to take one thing. Yes. I mean, that's not anti-aging. That's just protecting your DNA
from sun damage. So are there any tip or advice for anti-aging to take?
Oh my God, yes. In fact, I have an entire book. So when I started doing this for my own self, right, I wanted to know why we aged and what I could possibly do about it. I would read about so many different supplements and adjuvants, and I thought, how can I keep all of these things straight? Because they all do different things in different categories and to different degrees. So I created a rating system so that I know exactly whatever agent does in whichever areas of the categories of the aging, of the cellular aging that we talked about earlier. So it is very easy for someone to create a program for themselves based on sort of a number system. So in terms of general longevity, I usually tell people over the age of 40 to start with a program that I call the Panacea. But certainly people younger than that have other requirements, and people that are older than that have other requirements. So depending on a particular person's age, medical conditions, and then concerns about their health, different programs will help them sort of differently.
So where can they get this program? Is something that you offer online, or the book that you offer?
So the book explains, the first half of the book explains all the cellular stuff. And it's written sort of on many levels, right? It's written so scientists can go, yeah, that sounds accurate. And it's also written so that normal people can understand it. That's the first half of the book. The second half of the book reviews 15 of what I think are the top agents in terms of longevity, what they are they natural? Are they not natural? Pros and cons, and then what exactly they do for you. At the very end, I offer 3 specific programs that were based on what people asked me the most. And the other thing I do is I have an app. So for like $4 or whatever, someone can go in there, put their medical concerns in, and it'll spit out what I think you should take based on an algorithm that I wrote. The other thing I do, and people that listen to these podcasts always, what do I get for listening to the podcast? And what I try to do for everyone is if they are listening and they want me to help them make a program, I'm happy to do that. So I ask that people send me an email, give me your medical information. I mean, I'm not going nuts, but simple stuff, your age, your issues. And then I'm happy to help people create a program.
Oh, that's good to know. That's good to know. Great.
And the other thing is that I don't sell anything. I'm not one of those physicians that says, you need this drug, buy it from me. I don't sell any drugs whatsoever. The only thing I'm trying to do is to help people improve their health.
Yeah, I know that you have that open heart and generous and helping people, loving people. I can tell.
I try to, because, people are good at different things, and this is what I'm kind of good at. And I expect that when I need help from other people for things that I don't know how to do, that someone will kind of help me too. So we're sort of all in this together, and I want to be mutually beneficial so that everyone just does better overall.
And here a last question. Is there a way to have any quick
I can't hear you.
There's a last question. Is there any way have a quick fix to fixing the sagging skin, wrinkle, or drabby skin? Any quick fix? Quick fix.
Quick fix.
Yes.
Oh my, quick fix. That's a good question. So in terms of oral stuff for skin, you need to take collagen and you need to take hyaluronic acid. Quick fix. And you need to do that every day. And it's going to take about a month, and you will absolutely see differences in the quality of your skin. The other thing that I think is amazing for skin is red and infrared light.
You mean the LED? You mean the LED therapy?
Yes, it is LED. I have a light from BioLight, but a bunch of different companies make them. I sit in front of it for 7 minutes a night, and I cannot tell you how much that has really helped my skin.
It is.
That is extremely beneficial. And then I slather a combination of things on my skin all the time. I use a base of hyaluronic acid. I throw in centilla. I throw in some polypeptides. And I throw in some concentrated aloe, and I put that on my face and my body twice a day.
So this is something like for someone is not really have a damaged skin. So if they really have a damaged skin, they want a quick fix. So they need help, not just beside all those things. What else they can do?
Well, it depends on why your skin is damaged. I mean, there's sun damage, there's acne damage, there's a whole lot of different types of damage. So in reality, I don't know that many dermatologists that I trust, and I shouldn't say that publicly, but these people are out to make a lot of money. But in reality, damage just depends on, or the answer depends on the type of damage. If it's deep, deep damage, then you got to jump to lasers. If it's superficial damage, you give it a little time, and a whole lot of topical stuff will be doing wonders for you. And if you have good skin and you want to maintain your skin, then it's the basic, obvious stuff: hydration, and then a variety of different nutraceuticals on your skin. I think that one thing that people tend to obsess about is they use the same product over and over and over and over again. And I like to think that putting stuff on your skin is much like putting stuff in your body. Like, you don't eat broccoli every day for every meal, right? You need a mixed bag of stuff, right? You need different nutrients, different this, different that. So what you need to do is mix up your facial care. One day use the hyaluronic acid, another day use your retinol, another day use your vitamin C, just to sort of give yourself the full diet of skincare to make yourself as healthy as possible.
Yeah, that's totally true. And since you're talking about hydration, so I like how much water you should drink a day in order to have a healthy skin.
I think that that's the most ridiculous question ever, and I'll tell you why. So people love, so the problem with hydration in your skin is not necessarily the water problem. You can
Mm-hmm.
drink as much water as you want. And if you are deficient in hyaluronic acid, it's not going to stick to anything, right? So as an example, your hyaluronic acid in your skin goes down over time and it turns over in your body every 24 hours. So if your cells are not producing it and you don't have it, you're going to look like very withered,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
If you take oral hyaluronic acid, it actually does embed in your skin for like 2 weeks and then it sort of washes out and then you need to add more. But for every molecule of hyaluronic acid, it will absorb 6,000 molecules of water, right? So you need the hyaluronic acid in your skin to keep the water there. And if you're shy of hyaluronic acid, I don't care how much water you drink, it's not going to stay there because it's got nothing to stick to.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not a big believer in drink 27 gallons of water a day. You're just going to pee a lot,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
No one wants to live in the bathroom. So it's going to be a combination of making your skin healthier by treating your cells well and then getting something in there to contain the water.
I heard in order to keep your skin cell, the cell membrane hydrated, we need to take some essential fatty acids.
Yeah.
Like on the daily basis to make that cell healthy and hydrated. Is that true?
So it's part of cellular health. It's absolutely right. And I put that in the category basically of protein or quality control because your cells should be able to make all of the fatty acids that it needs if you feed it the right stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That is just a component of improving your cellular health. And that's absolutely true. And it's one of the components that you do need. And you need your PUFAs. I love that thing. Your PUFAs. And in fact, you also need it everywhere else in your body because if you don't have appropriate PUFAs, your GI system doesn't work either. And then you end up with irritable bowel syndrome or colitis and all of those horrible things. Because the cells in your skin kind of are not exactly like, but to a certain degree are very similar to all of your other cells. And if you don't treat them well, they're not going to treat you well.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So let me see. Do we still have more time for more questions? Let me see. The most 30 minutes. Okay, I think as we come to the end, I don't think I have more time to ask you more questions though, Dr. Sandy. Let's see. I think okay. So how about I know that you have some gift to give away. Can you tell us what is it and where to get it?
Well, so the answer is I don't have an actual gift because I don't own anything. What I give is advice. So you can put my email on your links if you want. Alternatively, if you go to my website, which is kaufmannprotocol.com, my email is right there. It's kaufmannaai@gmail.com. And I encourage people to send me their concerns, and I am more than happy to give people whatever information or advice I can. I will tell you that every time I do this on a podcast, I get inundated with a gazillion people. And I personally go through each and every one of them with real answers, well thought out by me. So it does take me a little bit of time. So I encourage people that if they want my advice, just to put on their like patience because it
Okay.
does take me a little bit of time, but I absolutely respond to everyone's questions.
Great. Thank you so much for letting me interview you today. And it's my honor to have you.
Oh, it is my absolute pleasure to be here. I
And yeah,
appreciate it.
this is a fantastic, phenomenal lecture. Like I had learned from you today.
Good, 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 good. Thank you.
And thank you everyone for listening. And there will be more experts to come tomorrow. And don't forget, if you want to have free gift from Dr. Sandy, go to her website and leave your concern and comment and your name, email address, and be patient and she will get back with you. Okay, thank you everyone. Bye for now.